How's it going, YouTube, and welcome back to My Comic Life. If you're new here, My Comic Life is a comic vlog that comes out Monday through Friday, so if you like what you see here, go hit that subscribe button. So, I just watched the Doom Patrol Episode 1, and let me tell you, my fears of it being like the Teen Titans or Titans series has been resolved. Oh my god, this series is such a breath of fresh air. It feels like to me that Doom Patrol takes the stuff that Fox did with Deadpool, brings that into there, plus the Guardians of the Galaxy, what Marvel Studios did. They're like, we'll take all that and put it into our show. And wow, what a great job. And by the way, parents, if you're thinking that this is going to be a good show for your kids to watch, just know there's nudity and there's a lot of language. And there's violence. So if those three things affect you, don't have your child watch this. Because the very first scene, when you meet the character of Cliff, he's banging the nanny, and it's full-on boobs everywhere. And it's kind of like, I don't know why they needed to do that, but just to be warned, they did it. So, Doom Patrol. My first time introduction to them as a team was in the Teen Titans Episode 4, which was the best episode of the Teen Titans. And I know what you're saying. David, you're the comic guy. You never read Doom Patrol? No, I never have. Until after that episode where I went and read the first two episodes or issues of Doom Patrol on the DC Universe app, which, plug by the way, go and pick up DC Universe. Go hit a subscription from them because, man, I've been just getting so much good content out there. So, Doom Patrol. Introduction to the characters was really well done, especially in the first character you're introduced with is Cliff. And you get to see him and his wife and his whole entire family life. And it's all narrated by Alan Tudyk. And Alan Tudyk is so great when you got his narration throughout the whole entire thing. Because he makes fun of how the critics won't like this show, or they never liked anything that DC does. And how everything's so dark and brooding, and oh my god, we got Nazis in here, everything's so dark. But of course, through Alan Tudyk's, talking about the show and how different everything is, and how weird everything is, and how light everything can be in this dark subject that they're talking about in this show. So it was all really well done. And then you're introduced to Cliff and him and his family. Oh man, like you hear the backstory of Cliff, and when he's already in his he's already Robot Man, and he's talking about the past and how much he regrets everything, and you could get the sense of that in these flashbacks. Cliff is not a good father. He's not a good husband. He's just all around not a good person. And of course, through all that chaos, the one that truly suffers is his daughter. And so, you see this chaotic relationship, and him being this race car driver, and him finding out in the middle of a race, like even before the race, him and his wife, go into do like a little kiss, but of course they fake it, and then she tells him, "I hope you die in a car crash." And that whole entire sequence, when you see it in the trailers where Cliff is going, and it looks like it's about to be the accident that took his life, that made him Robot Man. And that's when you snap into Cliff now as Robot Man, and you see him, basically they do an homage to RoboCop, and it was a really good homage. I was just like, oh, this is so cool. And then you're introduced. If you notice me looking this way, it's because I am looking at all the cast. And you have April Baldy, who's playing Elastigirl. And she's a character that was infected in the 1950s while she was on a shoot in, I think she was like in the Congo or somewhere. And I gotta get my mouse and my monitor doesn't turn off. So she's having a shoot in the Congo, and she seems like a B-list celebrity. Definitely not on the tip top of celebrities. But she acts like she is. She's actually a really big bitch in this when she's making her film. And like the show does something where they take these characters, especially with Cliff and Elastigirl, and they make them not likable characters, but you grow to like really like them. And so she's in the Congo. She is about to do this scene, and she falls through. She falls into the water, and she's trying to get out of the water, and like she unlocks this mystical thing that comes into her mouth and makes her into basically this blob of a character. And so throughout the episode, you're just introduced to all the characters, and it's so like it could have easily been an episode where you're kind of like, okay, can we please move it along? But it moves at such a good pace, and the humor in there is so funny. The two characters that really don't get any real big show is Negative Man, played by or voiced by Matt Bomer, and Crazy Jane, played by Diane Guerrero. Now those two characters don't really dive into them deeply. Something in the next couple episodes they'll dive in more into those characters, especially Crazy Jane. Crazy Jane is easily one of the most excited characters. I'm so excited for her character after reading the first two issues of Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol, and I'm just so excited to see how she'll be done, because Crazy Jane is a character that has, I think, 64 or some odd personalities, and with those personalities, each one has a different power. So she's like a thing that you just throw in any situation, and she can destroy, or she could be the one who can read that alien dialect or alien writing, and she'll know every single language, and it's just such a cool character that hopefully is going to be done right. And with Matt Bomer's character as Mr. Negative or Negative Man, you see him in all these bandages, and he was a pilot in the Army who was like the top tier pilot, and he was testing out this new craft that went into basically almost into outer space. But then this, like almost kind of like the Fantastic Four, this energy goes into him and changes him. And then I go into read Grant Morrison's run, the first two issues, and I'm introduced to this character once again. And Mr. Negative, or Negative Man, oh my god, if they go into the direction of Grant Morrison's, this could be something amazing. Like everything about this show has such potential. And this show just lets the episode breathe and just introduces these characters. So I would highly, highly recommend you all to go and pick and go and watch this season. Because if you're thinking, oh, I don't really want to go and spend, I think it's like $5.99 or something like that for the subscription, it is so worth it at this moment. Because this show, I feel, is like worth the price of admission. And so with the DC Universe app that I now have all these comics at my fingertips. And they're very much curated. It's not like the Marvel Unlimited where it seems like they have everything in here. Everything in the DC Universe has, ties to like the television shows or the different movies that they've done. And now this month they introduced, like they have like the first 30-something issues of like the Batman, Tom King's Batman, the Flash, Wonder Woman, Superman, all the DC Rebirth. They have like the first 30 issues of every single series on there, or almost every single series. So I've been diving deep into all these different comics. And with that, I read the first 2 issues of Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol. Whew. I watched the show and I was just like, I was really intrigued by these characters. But through reading the first 2 issues of Doom Patrol, I was hooked. And to see who truly Cliff is, because in Grant Morrison's first issue, which by the way, I'm going to be doing a almost like a retrospective or a whole review on the Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol. That's since I now have all of them at my fingertips. I'm going to read them all and do like a 4-part series where I talk about the series in depth. So, I go into the Doom Patrol, and I'm eating a little candy, so sorry about that. With the episode, or issue, he first goes into Cliff, and Cliff is Robot Man, and he's in like a psych facility, and he's talking to the guy that created him. Like in the television show, the guy that created him was Chief, played with Timothy Dalton, but in the comic, I forget who is, but it's the guy who created the other robots in the DC universe. And so he's talking to the guy that created him, and he's just such in a deep, dark place. And he's like, I am like an amputee, where amputee has all these false sensations of where the limb used to be, but I have it all over, all in my, like everywhere. I have these feelings of, my limbs, but they're not there. And I just feel like not a human anymore. I want to die, basically. And so you get to see them talking, and it's just the dialogue is just so gorgeous. And the art is just splendid. And if you follow me on Twitter, I'll leave a link to my Twitter account. When I'm reading the episode, I am tweeting my thoughts about it. And so, if you want to follow me there, that's a good place to find out about my thoughts of it all. And so, Cliff is just such a bad place. And he gets introduction to Crazy Jane. And he finds out that he is not the most messed up person that's, in this facility or in this world. And with her multiple personalities, which shows such a beautiful range. Like, this artist, when he does Crazy Jane and she turns into these different characters, the way that he does her face is just so intriguing. Like, you definitely tell, like, almost what character, or if she changed into a different character. It's really represented well in art. And it's just, the first 2 issues were just so beautiful, and just them trying to heal each other. And I'm like hoping that through Grant Morrison's run, he's going to be able to heal each other. So, needless to say, Doom Patrol, the television show, is great. The first episode just really floored me. But then reading the comic just made me go, I was in awe of what I was reading. Like, it was just something really special. So it makes me want to go out and find all the issues of Doom Patrol. But most likely the Grant Morrison Doom Patrol is going to be really stupid expensive. So I might slowly go and buy those series. So my name's David Lee. If you liked what you've seen here, go hit the subscribe button. If you notice, I like to ramble a little bit, and it's just a little daily comic vlog. A lot of other episodes I have are a lot more constructed, like more talking about the comics and my reviews or my thoughts on them. So if you like what you've seen here, go hit the subscribe button. And also, what do you guys think about Doom Patrol if you guys have seen it? Let me know down below. As always, my name is David Lee, and I'll see you guys